function. Today, we are blessed with the presence of our chairman, Dr. P. Harikumar sir, professor from Kerala University. On behalf of the persons who are gathering here, I welcome you, sir, towards this function. This program is enriched with the truthful presence of research gathering, especially academicians from different colleges, research scholars, even students from various disciplines. I welcome you all towards this function. So, we will have our preliminary session, that is presentation by Anju Maria Thomas.
Respected Dean, my dear friend Dr. Suleiman sir, Supervising Teacher Dr. Kyriakos, Candidate Anju Maria Thomas, my dear teachers from different colleges and research scholars. I am very happy to be the chairman of this open defense because the Dean is a very good friend of mine and he is a product of Kerala University and he is just a junior to me in our department. And regarding this thesis, this is something psychological. Emotional response of the consumers towards branded products. I have gone through this thesis and I think that the work is a wonderful work. Methodologically, statistically, and this is a very good work. But this is a viva in which the scholar is directed to present the abstract of the thesis within 30 minutes. After that, the floor is open for further discussion. You can ask any question, raise any queries. She has to defend it. Then only we can say that this is an original work done by the candidate. And you present the abstract of the thesis within 30 minutes. It is very sharp and crisp. Introduction, step into the problem, objectives, hypothesis, methodology, then come to the analysis part a little bit, and finally you have to present the findings and conclusion within 30 minutes. Okay?
Good afternoon, all. Myself, Anju Maria Thomas, research scholar under the supervision of Dr. Kyriakos Kocherian. My topic is study on emotional response of consumer towards selected branded products. As we all know that Congo Gumi is a construction company founded at Japan in 1878. It's the oldest documented brand in the world, surviving after 1446 years. Why this brand exists for 1446 years? Is the emotional state of villagers buying mineral water, SpaceX owner Elon Musk buying a rocket engine. These are the thoughts that inspired to this research. To find the answer, I conduct extensive review of literature on 261 literature. On the basis of literature review, I followed the following research area. First one, current study on antecedents of brand attachment, primarily concentrate on emotional aspect while ignoring the cognitive aspect. Second one, there is a limited understanding of effect of self-congruity on consumer emotion. Third one, limited study explore perceived quality as an antecedent to brand attachment. Brand experience has emerged as a crucial aspect of marketing in fostering long-term consumer brand relationship. However, the most of the study focusing on the sensory experience dimensions only. Next one, few studies are examining the brand nostalgia as an antecedent of brand attachment. Next, last one, exploring how brand attachment and emotional attachment drive the brand loyalty, addressed to overlooking the relationship between people and brand in the existing research. Statement of problem that today the market landscape is highly competitive, challenging to capture the consumer attention. Brand attachment is an important role in fostering consumer relationship. For developing brand attachment is a challenging because the consumers are attached only to a few brands. So the problem stated here is how consumer brand attachment determines the emotional attachment, which then influence the brand loyalty, word of mouth, and repurchase intention. Next, research question. There are three questions are developed. Next, significance of the study. The consumer emotion in marketing lead to loyalty, word of mouth, premium pricing willingness, strong brand attachment, enhanced profitability, etc. So this work can be considered as a pioneer one in expected to beneficial for managers, academicians, prospective researchers, and society. Next, research objective. To explore the factors influencing brand attachment in relation to selected branded product, considering the impact of regional difference. Second one, to analyze the impact of brand attachment on brand loyalty, repurchase intention, and word of mouth. Third one, to explore the relationship between brand attachment and emotional attachment. Fourth one, to evaluate the effect of emotional attachment on brand loyalty, word of mouth, and repurchase intention. Fifth one, to analyze the impact of brand loyalty on word of mouth and repurchase intention. Sixth one, to examine the mediating role of emotional attachment between brand attachment and brand loyalty, brand attachment and repurchase intention, and brand attachment and word of mouth. Seventh one, to examine the mediating role of emotional attachment and brand loyalty between brand attachment and repurchase intention, brand attachment and word of mouth. Last objective, to examine the mediating role of brand loyalty between brand attachment and repurchase intention, brand attachment and word of mouth, emotional attachment and repurchase intention, emotional attachment and word of mouth. Next, conceptual model. This model is prepared on the basis of stimulus organism response model. As per stimulus organism response model, there must be a stimulus that triggers the emotion and the response may be approach or avoidance. As per this model, brand attachment acts as a stimulus that trigger the emotional attachment which represent the affective bond between consumer and the brand. The response are brand loyalty, word of mouth, and repurchase intention. Conceptual definition. Brand attachment. This is a bond. This reflect a strong, influential mental representation that encompass both thought and emotion regarding the brand as well as relationship between the brand and the self. Next, actual self-confidence. This represents the consumer perception of how well the actual self aligns with the brand personality. Next, ideal self-confidence reflect the consumer perception of how closely the ideal self aligns with the brand personality. Next, brand experience. Subjective, internal response of consumers along with behavior reaction triggered by brand-related stimulus found in the brand's design, identity, package, communication, and environment. Perceived quality refer to the consumer emotional assessment of entity, overall excellence, superiority, resembling on operation attitude. Brand nostalgia, reflection of past and encompass of memories, emotions, and thoughts. Next, brand community engagement. Brand community engagement refers to strong intrinsic motivation that drive the individual to keep participating in the online brand community. Emotional attachment to the brand is a multi-dimensional construct encompassed of affection, passion, and connection. Brand loyalty is a set of attitudes that align with the pattern of purchase behavior, consistently favor one entity over its competitors. Word of mouth, informally recommending a brand, product, or service thought personally. Non-commercial communication. The purchase intention is a consumer evaluation of the whether they will buy the brand again from the same company. Research methodology. Research design is descriptive and analytical. Data sources, primary data and secondary data are collected. sample size is calculated on the basis of this equation and is greater than or equal to 1.96 S by T or the whole square. Here N is sample size, S is estimated standard deviation, D is the standard error or to estimate the population parameter. Sampling technique is novel sampling. Data is collected, pilot study, data is collected from 75 respondents, population, consumers of Dairy Milk, Apple iPhone and Royal Enfield who are residing in Kerala, and also those who are follow the brand community page of this products on Facebook. Next, there are three products are selected, Royal Enfield, Apple iPhone and Dairy Milk. They are selected on the basis of involvement. High involvement product. Automobile industry is typically expensive. Out of this, two-wheelers are selected because the Indian population consider motorcycle as a symbol of freedom. Out of this, Royal Enfield is selected because Royal Enfield hold as a unique position as the oldest motorcycle brand in the continuing production. In medium involvement product, mobile phone is selected. Out of this, Apple iPhone is selected because as per the TechCrunch report of September 8, 2022 highlight that Kerala is one of the states with highest proportion of the iPhone users. Low involvement product, food and non-alcoholic beverage. Out of this confectionery product, it's a part of fast-moving consumer goods sector. Out of this, chocolate are selected usually affordable and frequency to purchase. Out of this, premium chocolate because growing due to the increasing popularity of chocolate as a gifting industry. Out of this, Cadbury Dairy Milk is selected because India's popular brand. Next, research question. My first research question is, what are the behavioral outcomes of brand attachment? Does the brand attachment motivate this behavioral outcome directly? The objective 1, to explore the factors influencing brand attachment in relation to the selected brand and product, considering the impact of regional differences. The tool used is two-way ANOVA. The research shows that while comparing the mean score of each dependent variable on brand chosen, the highest value shows by the Apple iPhone in case of actual self-confidence, ideas, perceived quality, brand nostalgia and brand experience. But in case of ideal self-confidence and brand community engagement, it is Royal Enfield consumers. Then we can conclude that impact of actual self-confidence, perceived quality, brand nostalgia, brand experience on brand attachment is significantly higher from Apple iPhone consumer compared to Dairy Milk and Royal Enfield. Next, in other two situations, either self-confidence and brand community situation, it is Royal Enfield. While region-wise comparison, the mean score of urban consumers is high compared to the rural consumers. We can conclude that all the dependent variables have stronger impact on brand attachment among urban consumers than the rural consumers. Next, discriminant analysis. The table is interpreted on the WIS lambda and F value F test. Here the WIS lambda is found to be significant for all the variables. The most important variable to discriminant function is actual self-confidence. While comparing the standard canonical discriminant function of coefficient, actual self-confidence is the most important variable, and one with negative value is brand community engagement. So we can conclude that actual self-confidence is the most important variable that affect the brand attachment of urban area customers, and brand community engagement is the most important variable for the customers of rural area. Next, objective 2, to analyze the impact of brand attachment on brand loyalty, repurchase intention and word of mouth. Third one, to explore the relationship between brand attachment and emotional attachment. PLS SEM is used, smart software, smart PLS and the bootstrapping for testing the significance. Hypothesis 1, there is a positive relationship between brand attachment and emotional attachment. Second one, there is a positive relationship between brand attachment and brand loyalty. Third one, there is a positive relationship between brand attachment and repurchase intention. Fourth one, there is a positive relationship between brand attachment and brand word of mouth. Here, the research shows that brand attachment has significant positive effect on emotional attachment, brand loyalty, word of mouth. brand loyalty, word of mouth and repurchase intention. While comparing the path coefficient, the result shows that the brand attachment has stronger impact on emotional attachment, rather than brand loyalty, word of mouth, and repurchase intention. While comparing the path coefficient of brand attachment to word of mouth and brand attachment to repurchase intention 0.246 and 0.241, which are approximately similar, this view justifies that individuals who have higher brand attachment to the brand manipulate equally to engage positive word of mouth and repurchase intention. Research question 2. Does the emotional attachment motivate directly and indirectly towards the brand loyalty, word of mouth, repurchase intention, and also identify the indirect effect through brand loyalty? Fourth objective is to evaluate the effect of emotional attachment on brand loyalty, word of mouth, and repurchase intention. PLSM is used, software smart PLS, bootstrapping for testing the significance. Fifth hypothesis, there is a positive relationship between emotional attachment and brand loyalty. Sixth one, there is a positive relationship between emotional attachment and repurchase intention. Seventh hypothesis, there is a positive relationship between emotional attachment and word of mouth. Here, all the research shows that all the hypotheses are significant. While comparing the path coefficient, it is inferred that emotional attachment has stronger impact on brand loyalty. So we can say brand loyalty rather than word of mouth and repurchase intention. We can conclude that which individuals who have higher emotional attachment to the brand are more likely to have high brand loyalty towards the brand. While comparing the emotional attachment upon repurchase intention and word of mouth, the path coefficient 0.329 and 0.308, which are approximately similar. So we can justify that individuals who have higher emotional attachment to the brand will be manipulated equally to engage positive word of mouth and likely to repurchase the product. Next one, mediation effect. Objective 6, to examine the mediating role of emotional attachment between brand attachment and brand loyalty, brand attachment and repurchase intention, brand attachment and word of mouth. PLSM is used, smart PLS software is applied, and bootstrapping for testing the significance. Hypothesis. Here, the mediation for the mediation analysis, we should compare the direct effect and indirect effect. Here, direct effect and indirect effect are significant and also they are positive. And also, direct effect and the product of direct effect and indirect effect are positive. So, we can conclude that this is a complementary mediation. So, emotional attachment is complementary mediates the relationship between brand attachment and brand loyalty. Emotional attachment is complementary mediates the relationship between brand attachment and repurchase intention. Emotional attachment is complementary mediates the relationship between brand attachment and word of mouth. It means interpret that higher the level of brand attachment, increase the brand loyalty, the word of mouth and the repurchase intention directly, but also increase in emotional attachment which turn lead to brand loyalty, repurchase intention, word of mouth. Next up, seventh objective, to examining the mediating role of emotional attachment and brand loyalty between brand attachment and repurchase intention, brand attachment and word of mouth. PLSM is used, software smart PLS, bootstrapping for testing the significance. There is multiple mediation, so we should compare the specific indirect effect. Here, direct effect and indirect effect are significant and they are positive. Also, the specific indirect effect also significant and positive. So, we can conclude that there is a complementary mediation. The result is emotional attachment and brand loyalty. Complementary mediates the relationship between brand attachment and repurchase intention. Emotional attachment and brand loyalty complementary mediate the relationship between brand attachment and the word of mouth. Next up, MTS is applied to identify the most dominant basic emotion term that reflect the strength of consumer attachment to a brand. As per the MTS model, the research shows that loud and wanted are the most important terms. And the least important terms are friendly, peaceful, and connected. And one dimension gives attached, captured, delighted, passionate, and affectionate. Research question 3. Does the brand loyalty motivate directly and indirectly to the word of mouth and repurchase intention? Objective 5. To analyze the impact of brand loyalty on word of mouth and repurchase intention. Next, to examine the mediating role of brand loyalty between brand attachment and repurchase intention, brand attachment and word of mouth, emotional attachment and repurchase intention, emotional attachment and word of mouth. PLSM is used. Software smart PLS bootstrapping technique for testing the hypothesis. Here, the hypotheses are significant and there is a positive relationship between brand loyalty and word of mouth, and there is a positive relationship between brand loyalty and repurchase intention. By comparing the coefficient 0.294 and 0.264, which are approximately similar. So we can justify that individuals who have higher brand loyalty to the brand will manipulate equally to engage positive word of mouth and likely to repurchase. Next, hypothesis: brand loyalty is complementary mediate relationship between brand attachment and repurchase intention. Brand loyalty is complementary mediate relationship between brand attachment and word of mouth. Here, direct and indirect effects are positive and also significant. So, when the product of direct effect and indirect effect are positive, so we conclude that there is a complementary relationship between brand loyalty and brand loyalty between brand attachment and repurchase intention, brand attachment and word of mouth. Next hypothesis: brand loyalty is complementary mediate the relationship between emotional attachment and repurchase intention. Brand loyalty is complementary mediate relationship between emotional attachment and word of mouth. Here also, direct effect and indirect effect should be compared. Their direct effect and indirect effect are positive and they are significant. The product is also positive, so we can conclude that mediation effect is complementary mediation. Structural equation modeling. PLSM analysis involves assessing both measurement and structural model. Measurement model ensure the reliability and validity of the construct, while structural model evaluate the significance of the hypothesis relationship between the variable. First, measurement model. Here, in the research model, all the first order constructs are reflective, means that the indicator item are caused by the same underlying construct and should be strongly correlated with each other. In the first step is to check the indicator reliability. Outer loadings are given. Here all the outer loadings are well above the threshold value 0.70, which recommends sufficient level of indicator reliability. Second step is internal consistent reliability, and in internal consistent reliability we check the compact alpha and composite reliability. In third step, convergent validity. Convergent validity, we measure average variance extracted. Here also, all the values are above the threshold limit. So we can conclude that there is internal consistent reliability and convergent validity. Step 4 is discriminant validity. For discriminant validity, there are different methods. The first method is Horner-Ladder criteria. Under this method, discriminant validity is established when the square root of ABE or for a construct is greater than its correlation with other construct. In this study, the square root of ABE is shown in bold, and for a construct are found greater than the correlation between other constructs. Next method is HTMT method. In HTMT method, the threshold value is 0.90. Here, all the value is less than 0.90. So we can conclude that this model have a discriminant validity. Next step is to assess the structural model. For assessing the structural model, after confirming the reliability and validity, the construct measure, next step is to assess the result of structural model. First step is collinearity assessment. For collinearity assessment, we should consider VFI and inner VFI. Here, all the outer VFI and inner VFI are below the threshold value of 5, which shows that study does not feature multi-collinearity between dependent variables. Second step is park coefficient. Here, the park coefficient value, standardized value is near between positive 1 and negative 1. If it is near to positive 1, we can say that stronger positive relationship. If it is related to negative 1, it says the negative relationship. Here, all the values are related to positive 1, so we can say that there is a positive relationship. Third step is coefficient of determination, R square value. The R square value range from 0 to 1, higher level indicator, higher level of explanatory power. The values, if it is 0.75, substantial, 0.50 is moderate, and 0.25 is big. Here, all values are in between 0.75 and 0.50, so we can conclude that the model has a moderate level of explanatory power. Fourth step is effect of F square. F square value, guideline for assessing F square value is 0.02, 0.02 values between 0.02 and 0.15 is small, 0.15 and 0.35 is medium, above 0.35 has larger effect. While checking the result, F2 value, the brand attachment to emotional attachment value is 1.774, which is greater than 0.35, so we can conclude that that's a large effect. Medium effect values are brand attachment to brand loyalty, emotional attachment to brand loyalty. Other values are not below 0.02 but between 0.02 and 0.15, so we can conclude that there is a small effect. Last step is predictive relevance of Q square. Or here all Q square are above 0, so it implies that model deliver predictive relevance while comparing the RMSE value of the LM benchmark majority, that is 82% of indicators in the PLSM analysis give a smaller prediction error compared to the LM, and this indicates that median predictive power. Those PLSM RMSE value is less than LM value are shown in bold. Next findings. First one, perceived quality and brand experience construct play an important role in explaining the variation in brand attachment, and the next most important construct is actual self-confidence. Next one, brand attachment has greater influence of emotional attachment compared to its impact on brand loyalty, word of mouth and repurchase intention. Next, individuals with higher brand loyalty are likely to engage positive word of mouth and purchase product. Next, last, brand loyalty has displayed highest positive association with emotional attachment followed by word of mouth and purchase intention. Selection. Firm should elevate the perceived quality of the product. The firm should regularly evaluate and improve the product offering to meet the excellent standard and consumer expectation. Incorporate consumer feedback into the product development. Brand manager should prioritize the local symbol linked the childhood and national identity over global symbol. The search should emphasize brand community engagement in creating strong brand attachment. Brand managers should prioritize emotional aspects to build loyalty. They need to effectively communicate the brand identity to the target consumers rather than rely solely on traditional marketing techniques. Last one, firm should start develop activity to support the consumer actual search. This can be achieved through build a brand identity that authentically reflect the values and personality of target audience, encourage customers to create, share user-generated content. Last conclusion, we confirm that perceived quality, brand experience, and actual self-confidence significantly contribute to stronger branded attachment, which turn lead to emotional attachment. Consumers who are emotionally attached to the brand demonstrate high level of brand loyalty, which translate into the positive word of mouth, increase the likelihood to repurchase. To maintain and develop this attachment, it is essential for the firm to continually improve and communicate with their customers using all available resources to ensure stable, long-lasting, and positive relationship. As limitation, the use of snowballs technique may produce bias due to the snowball nature. Next, the framework was tested with the residents of Kerala. So the findings of the study may not be generalized to the region with different cultural background. Additionally, the study results were based on three product category: irreversible, half-life, and Royal Enfield. Last up, the study focused solely on positive effect of consumer interaction with the brand, specifically measure the strong positive connection through brand attachment. However, it overlooks negative relationship that may form due to adverse interaction. Thank you.
Anju, your presentation is good. You have a less number of PPT slides. Slides are beautiful also. But that cannot be a criteria for asking less number of questions. Your title is good. In page number 1, the contents of the first chapter. Page number 1, contents of the first chapter. Introduction, chapter 1. Background of the study, significance of the study. These are the subheads of the first chapter. 1.5 hypothesis. How many hypotheses you have on it? How many hypotheses in your thesis? 1.5. 19 hypotheses. So subhead hypothesis, what's the spelling? Is it a singular or plural? SCS. Okay. First is page number 15. Proposal hypothesizer, the proposal hypothesizer conceptual model developed for the study. You have developed a conceptual model. Based on the variables you have identified through literature. Okay, you have a large number of variables identified from literature. Then you construct a model based on those variables. This is the conceptual model. Page number 16. Theoretical model, conceptual model, based on variables identified through literature. What? Hypothesis number, hypothesis 2, hypothesis 9 hypotheses in this model, proposal model. H1, H2, H3, H9. So 9 hypotheses are related to this model.
Complementary mediation hypotheses are not
So your study is based on this model only?
But in this diagram, it does not mention the complementary mediation hypothesis.
Okay, this is your theoretical model, conceptual model. You validate this model with some PLS. So after validating this model, is there a negative relationship? All the relationship positive. You validate.
Yes.
So you confirm this model.
Yes.
The final model is almost equal to the theoretical model.
Yes.
Validated model and theoretical model, is there any difference?
No.
Fine. Page number 16. Page number 9. You have a formula for the fixation of sample size. Fixation of sample size. Where did you apply this formula? Apply this formula.
I corrected on the basis of pilot study data.
So you apply this formula against the data collected through pilot study. Why you apply this snowball summary method?
Snowball sampling method because we use this method to identify the larger population and study
Because a large number of customers.
larger customers and we will identify the larger customers and also the study by the 2012 emphasized that the snowball sampling is useful for increasing Facebook in the platform of Facebook because individuals have high reliability to high chance for response.
Page number 35. That means the last part of introduction chapter. Final page of introduction chapter. Chapter summary is there. In the introduction chapter, you have a chapter summary. Where is the reference? Where is the limitation?
Limitations are on the last chapter and reference also on the last.
There is a research here.
Yes, sure.
Where? Introduction chapter or
In the
after
after
research?
completing the literature review, research data,
Okay. How many reviews you have made?
260.
260 reviews.
261 reviews.
How many PhD theses? How many research papers?
There's no classification.
Okay. So there's a question. Which is the most important literature you have reviewed? Can you say any one?
Okay, Thomas, 2005 is an important literature review on only the part 2010, 12. These are all the most important literature that I do.
Which is the most important variable you have taken from that literature?
Emotional attachment is important variable that I taken from the Thomas 2005. This area also.
282. 222. Conceptual model of the study. Conceptual model of your study. You validate this model?
Yes, sure.
And this model is entirely different from the model you mentioned in the.
We show the hypothesis that libraries which show the hypothesis.
This model is developed by somebody else.
No.
According to Davon and Roswell.
This is based on Stifler's organism model and variables and all other parts are
257. You have applied multi-dimensional scale. Two dimensions are presented. In both the dimensions, a variable having positive coefficient, we say that this variable is the most dominant one. You identified two
bonded and
bonded and loud. Loud. Yes. No. Out of these two, which is the most significant one? രണ്ടും ബോർഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടില്ല. Variables having positive coefficient in both the dimensions, in all the dimensions, sometimes more than two dimensions. The variable is the most dominant. അത് കൃത്യമായിട്ടുള്ള ഐഡന്റിഫൈ. Then 278. At the time of the application of DL sum, you have a matrix which indicates VIF, variance influence factor. What is the reference? Multicollinearity. Yeah, man. You have already presented multicollinearity about dependent variable. You presented like that. Multicollinearity among dependent variable. Is it correct? VIF, variance influence factor. If the value is greater than 10, there is a presence of. Statistically, it is greater than 10. The multicollinearity is present. There is a presence of multicollinearity if the VIF is greater than 10. Here, all the values are less than 5 or 10. There is no multicollinearity. If there is the presence of multicollinearity, what you do? See, when you deal with the primary data, multicollinearity is not an issue. If you deal with the secondary data, especially time series or some other economic data, multicollinearity is a serious issue. Otherwise, we just need to. Another question raised by examiner. Why the p-values for accepting or rejecting the hypothesis become 0? Page number 290.
The result is not actually zero. While the Thesis software shows the 3-digit decimal number, and while downloading they automatically.
Suppose if the p-value of a particular variable in the output of DL sum, it is 0.012. If some other variable it is 0.000. In another variable it is 0.041. All are such statistically significant. But in your thesis, you mentioned only zeros.
All others pages it is mentioned as 0.00. But while downloading, the system automatically rounded the figure to 0. I just cut and paste.
Cut and paste. So,
If you put any value, is double digit or 3 to be marked.
at last, I think that you have cut and paste somewhere in the thesis. Can you defend that?
It's already written. Result is on the pages of.
Okay. So, now question from the audience. Research scholars? Some of the research scholars are my students. Or they review your PD. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for your presentation. Actually, I don't have a question, I have a small query. You mentioned that some things out there influence the customer for purchasing, like, for example, brand, something else. But I didn't understand, you mentioned about word of mouth. Can you explain a little bit?
Please.
Word of mouth, yeah. I didn't understand that one. Can you little explain?
When the consumer is satisfied with the product, they may positively communicate other people the positive things about the brand. That's all.
I would like to clarify what the model that are already in the head as of course came. I have some doubt about the variables. How many dependent variables in your proposed model, how many independent variables you are proposing? What are they?
It is already shown in the my research. Brand status. Already mentioned in my research. Actual self, brand attachment, actual self confidence, ideal self. Brand attachment is a dependent variable.
Brand attachment dependent.
Dependent variable,
Yeah.
independent variable, brand loyalty, word of mouth and negotiation.
Your title, I think study on emotional response of consumers. Can you go to the title, have any implications about the variables, dependent variable? When you title, doesn't have any implications on dependent variable. Emotional response to consumers. Your dependent variable is band attachment. Outcome variable is right. The question is right. You can clear it out.
Brand loyalty, word of mouth and effective independent variable.
Okay. My question must be clarify. My question: brand attachment is a dependent variable or outcome variable? Is right?
Brand attachment influences the emotional attachment, triggers the emotional attachment, it acts as a
My
stimulus.
question is first. In model or relationship, one variable may be dependent variable. My question: which one is dependent variable?
Brand attachment is a
Dependent variable. Okay.
and
Hmm.
emotional attachment also dependent to the factor for influencing the brand loyalty, word of mouth and effective stimulus.
I think this is a little confusing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major variables are there. Okay.
Okay.
From among these 5 major variables, which one can be treated as outcome variable? Outcome means outcome, last result. Okay.
The purchase emotion, word of mouth, the last variable, right?
Outcome variable. Outcome variables are dependent variables. Usually, we are thinking.
I see.
I'm a little confused about the model. Understand the theoretical model. The outcome variables are known as dependent variables. That's my question. How many dependent variables are there? How many independent variables are there?
Yeah, so brand attachment, brand outcome variables are the purchase selection, word of mouth, and word of mouth and brand loyalty.
These are outcome variables. Okay, but 3 outcome variables are there. Okay, correct? Confused. And the antecedents are brand attachment and emotional attachment. That's why I asked this question because your title takes only emotional attachment. Yeah, that's
More
like
importance is given to emotional attachment. All other attachment, brand attachment is act as a stimulus to develop the emotion.
your title doesn't have some
Emotional
comprehensive title. That's why we just touch one aspect only.
because emotional attachment is more important. All other brand attachment variables act as a stimulus that trigger the emotional attachment and then the outcome.
You can simultaneously consider brand loyalty, word of mouth, and last 3 outcomes are taken. Where is this model? You borrow this model.
This model is based on stimulus organization response model. In the stimulus organization response model, there must be a stimulus and this stimulus must trigger the organism and that means emotion and then outcome may be approach or avoided. In this nine model also there is a stimulus that is brand attachment. Brand attachment stimulates the emotion that trigger the emotion and the emotion the outcomes are brand loyalty, word of mouth, representation, mention.
Clarity is required because when you explain any model, which one is the key variable? What are the key variables? Among the key variables, which one will be the dependent variable? Which one will be the independent variable? Which one will be the mediating? Which one will be the moderating?
Negative variables are emotional attachment, brand loyalty, urban utility variables.
Well, we have taken three outcome variable and two independent variable. We are connecting in the relationship all these. Okay. Another question we have in market is a theoretical question. The brand equity, then brand, you already mentioned another concept, the brand loyalty is already there. And the brand attachment, you have another concept. What's the difference between these? Brand loyalty, brand attachment, and the brand equity. These are marketing terms, you already know.
Brand attachment means more strong, influential recommendation that encompasses of thought, emotion regarding the brand. Most of the studies in the brand attachment, they consider only the emotional aspect. In my study, I consider both cognitive aspects. I selected the variables on the basis of the research gap available. Brand loyalty, just a set of attitude aligned with the pattern of purchasing behavior consistently forming one's entity over the competitor over its competitors. They are entirely different terms. Brand attachment and brand loyalty are different. That is mentioned in the PhD.
Okay. Have you heard about brand equity? Have you connection to this study?
Brand equity is not taken into my study. Only brand loyalty, brand attachment can be considered.
Any more question from the audience? Because you are also attending this type of IOC examination in future. Respected Dean and Supervising Teacher, Anju Maria Thomas defended her thesis wonderfully well. She answered all the questions raised by the chairman and the dean and also the participants on behalf of her persons and also the style of presentation and the way in which she answered all the questions. I think that is her performance is good. Considering this, we, the examiners, recommend the thesis for the award of the PhD subject to the existing. Congratulations.